Welcome, everyone.
Yep.
Hey, welcome to our Global Energy Team training call. I'm excited to be sharing the training tonight with Susanne Cunningham. Susanne Cunningham is our 3-star Diamond Director, $1 Million Club member, Dr. Wen's Vision Award, my sponsor, mentor, and friend for 22 years. So, Susanne, I'm really thrilled to have you on the call tonight and that you'll be sharing your words of wisdom about Celavive. But I just wanted to share one of the things. I was watching TV today on the news this morning, and they were talking about trends, makeup trends, and they were talking about what's really trending right now is to have the glowy look without the oily look. And that's exactly what Celavive creates. It's that beautiful, healthy glow that's not oily. So we are right on trend with this product. So it's amazing. It's just amazing. So Susanne, yeah, I just asked you to be on the call tonight, and I know you're back in Manitoba and you're preparing for our USANA Manitoba Celavive facial experience. So I just want you to share some of the things that you're planning to do with Celavive and how to build your business and some advice you can give us.
Great. Thanks, Sheila. Actually, we celebrated our, I always have to do this, 23rd anniversary. So there you go. Don't even think I'm that old. How can that possibly be a 23rd anniversary doing USANA? But it's been. So this is really exciting to have Celavive as another stepping ground for building our businesses. And for all of you that are building, if you've been around for a little while, then this is like having a brand new company, a brand new opportunity. If you're new, then you've got so much on in front of you to be able to build with, because you've got all of the cornerstones that USANA offers, including the business. But for the short term, let's talk about Celavive a little bit. Celavive is a beautiful product, and it takes using it to know, all of your before and after photos are really important to you, but it's getting it on someone else's skin so that they can experience it and have their own story. That's what's really going to make the difference. And so I'm not sure, some of you are out of town, but the majority of you are able to come to the event on the 14th. So that's what I want to focus on. I get the impression from having you all introduce yourselves and so on that you're using the products, maybe just the first facial now, but somewhere from the first to many, many times and getting some results. And those before and after photos that you will take, initially you won't see the difference when you look in the mirror because you see yourself every day. But when you actually see the before and afters, I don't know if you've seen John's or not. I think they used it at the event that was here. When was that? Sheila, help me.
That was in February.
February, yeah.
I think February that was the most outstanding before and after I have seen of all the pictures. I was like blown away by myself.
I know, and he is as well. We did the trade show, Joanne and I, and we used his photo as one of the photos that we carried. And I joked that I think he carries it around in his wallet because he's pretty impressed too. He used Sensei all of those years and, would have said that, we were using a great product. So to see what Celavive has done in the 3-month time frame is pretty awesome. And all of those photos, just FYI, were straight out of the shower. I've seen some of the USANA information, and they say go ahead and put your
moisturizer.
Moisturizer, not everything, but they say use the moisturizer for the photo. So imagine if he had done that, right? Imagine.
So the after picture, he had not even applied any fresh Celavive.
No.
Wow.
No. Wow. No. So those were shower. That's it. And and his funny little smirk, he said he did it so that he wouldn't smile and get all the smile lines, but whatever. The point is that it makes a difference, and seeing them side by side. And then for myself, I haven't done it yet to sort of set them out beside each other, but I'm not so excited about the face on ones, but I'm looking at some spots, for example. So it might be around the eyes, or it might be some discoloration on the skin, and being able to highlight that kind of change. So any of you that are thinking the same, do that. Like, don't be afraid to take a picture from the side, or take it and then maybe be able to zoom it up later and see how they compare. because you'll find some changes that are going to really help. And yeah, so anyway, that's good for your belief. Okay, that's really important for your belief. So what I wanted to, I guess, work with here is the 14th. So that's all about inviting. You know, we have an opportunity because the one in February, you had $25 ticket for your guests. So some of you may have brought guests, some of you may not have. This is a guest-free event. We have Jennifer Ray doing the presentation. Jennifer was with the trainers as they were being, the ambassadors as they were being trained. She was one of the trainers training them along the way. So she knows what she's doing, and she's going to bring just as good an event as we've had before. But this is a guest-free event, or free for guests event. So bring guests, okay? That's how you win. Coming and listening will be fine, but invite guests, and always invite more than you expect. I'm sure Sheila's given you all of this instruction before, and if she has, that just means we duplicate, because it's the truth. You know, we expect 6 and 4 show up, or 2 show up, but you know what? The right ones always show up, and if you don't invite enough, then you can be disappointed, and disappointment sucks. So you might as well go after the inviting more is better. Okay, so keep that in mind. So the first thing is to know why you're doing this. So why are you, promoting Celavive at all? And that's the thing that you have to kind of check in with yourself. What's it about? And I'm going to stop talking for a second, and I'm going to ask each of you, any of you that want to share, why do you want to talk about Celavive to someone? Just one thing. Why would you want to talk to about Celavive? Elaine, go ahead.
I feel that it gives me an opportunity to almost start my business fresh again, because I have something new and wonderful, and I'm revisiting a lot of people that are already my customers, and maybe some that are lost customers. But yeah, just summing it all up, I'd say it's something new and wonderful to help our business grow again.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Anyone else?
Sorry, and I usually led a lot with Sensei, so this is comfortable for me to lead with Celavive.
Mm-hmm. Michael, why are you?
I'm prospecting for Celavive so my wife can do something, because she's too shy to prospect.
So if you prospect, then she's going to do the facials.
Yes, I open the door for her, and and she follows up. Right, Sheila?
You are definitely opening the door, and we're teaching her the follow-up system to make sure she does follow up. Yes. Yeah,
Good.
it's a lot of fun. Very creative ways.
Excellent. Who else?
Why am I doing Celavive? Because It's such a simple door opener. If I'm at a luncheon networking meeting, it's just so easy to talk about. Like any woman who I talk about, if people, like when we go around the table, like, what do you do? I usually just say I help people look and feel 10 years younger, and I immediately get people leaning in and responding. So then I just need to follow that up with whoever I think would be a good candidate. And I haven't had anyone say, oh no, I don't want a facial, or no, I don't want to try the products. They're always very open to trying something new.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. Okay, anyone else? Everybody knows why, and it's the right reason. So, Laurie?
Yeah, I have a thought on that,
sorry.
Susanne.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. You know what I find really interesting is I feel like I have almost a bit of an advantage, having taken USANA now for, I think it'll be 22 years. I'm not sure if it's this month or June. I got to look back. But right in that range, and because physically I look very healthy and fit and such, it's an easy step in to say, we're not saying, it's a miracle thing with our face, but overall, I represent what living a healthy lifestyle is, and our skin is part of the amazement of our body, and so incorporate that into the regime. And so, yeah, I'd like to kind of bridge that one better. So I'm interested in knowing what ideas you have on that.
Okay, great. Thank you, Phyllis.
Mm-hmm.
Laurie?
Well, I think Phyllis touched on sort of what I'm trying to achieve, is breaching that that communication where I am in my life as a business owner, busy mom, just trying to breach those other moms like myself of hopefully just not looking as tired as we feel sometimes.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
And it's hard. And it's hard. So just trying to still incorporate a busy life and still trying to still have that energy and that youthful glow, I guess, if you want to call it. Not,
absolutely.
And tell you the truth, I've been on USANA now for a year. And I have to be honest, before that, I used to have people coming up to you saying, you look tired. When I wasn't tired.
I know, you want to punch them, right? Not nice.
I haven't had that comment in the past year, and I'm still just as busy.
Right.
But I don't look like I'm that look. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, of course. No, I do. I say, when I said you just want to punch them, because really you're thinking like, seriously? Why would you tell me that? But it's nice, it's right. But it's awesome that you can see that that's not happening anymore. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
So like I said, like Phyllis said, I'm trying to breach that gap of finding that same person as I. So.
Anyone else want to share their why they want to do this? Because it's really important. It's really important to your invite. Like, it's so important. If you know why you're doing it, suddenly you've got a platform to step forward with. Sorry, go ahead, Pam. I think that was you.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that I'm the old lady here, and skincare has been like secondary to the whole health thing with me. And of course, I've used it for 13 years and I love it all. And I really appreciate the difference with the Celavive, and I really noticed the difference. I took before and afters. It's made a great deal of difference. So I think I'm looking at a different generation with this, but it's so much more important to me is people being on the supplements. So I love that it's talking about being on the supplements so that your skin can be healthier. And that's always been the way it is. And I really, it's going to be a difficult thing for me because it's not something that I focus on. So I'm really appreciating all of this information that I'm getting. So thank you.
Excellent. Yes. Yes. Anyone else? Okay. Well, you get the drift, but I'm serious. What you're creating is a platform when you know why you're doing it. And that's first and foremost. So if you've never said it out loud before, and this is the first time you have, write it down. Write it down so that you know, because it brings clarity to everything that you do. Laura, you know you don't have to chase everyone. You know who you're looking for. You know who you're trying to talk to, right? And you will bump into other people along the way, but it gives you clarity as you move forward and you set that list forward to make the calls and do the invitations and so on. So that's the first thing. The second thing is then setting your intention and your goal. So we have April 14th as a goal. And those of you that don't have that event, you have some other event, whether it's a Health and Freedom event or a Celavive event, or you're going to do a home event or whatever it is, right? Everyone has something that they're moving toward. Take note of the date and realize how much time you have between now and then. And then you have to take ownership of your calendar so that you can take action and move into the activities that are going to get you there. Okay? So when it comes to achieving that, you have to have the time. So you're setting the time aside. And then the next thing is to actually do the invitation. So I'm a bit of a traditionalist. I don't think that any of the methods are any different, other than I'm just certain that you have to make the invitation. If you don't make the invitation and as close to in person as possible, it gets farther and farther and farther away from actually happening. So when you make a phone call and you call someone in and you invite them, and we'll talk more maybe a little bit about how to do that, but you make the phone call and you make that invitation, you're as close as you can get. Or if you're standing in front of them and you make that invitation, You're as close as you can get to seeing their eyes, hearing their voice, getting their response, really sensing where they're at and being able to have a dialogue, a conversation. You know, if you go way out to the other side where maybe you're going to post on Facebook, you know, that's like putting a flyer on a wall somewhere and hoping someone's going to tear the little ticket off and call you. The chances are there. I mean, it's possible, but you're just so much more distant from the chance that they're actually going to do it. And when you talk about being in a busy world and a busy lifestyle and all of that, everybody's in the same. Not too many people are looking for one more thing to do. You know, there are a few that are looking to fill their day with, you know, a couple of new experiences. But generally speaking, most people are pretty full and they're looking for ways to be pampered. Celavive could fit that bill. To be taken care of, or being supported, or being befriended, or, you know, there's just, those are the things that you want to touch on. So if you pick a friend up and take them with you, make their life easier. You know, if you say, you know what, it's just the two of us, or it'll just be the three of us, and we're going to get pampered and we'll have a good conversation on the way and on the way back home. And it's just, it becomes an event that's social and engaging rather than just coming to a meeting or coming because you want them to come. It's about them. So when I say traditionalist, I mean the closer you can get to the person in the sense of, you know, that real conversation, dialogue, caring about them, the better. And it has to be an on-purpose invitation. I know a lot of us go to the other edge and we think, okay, we got the 14th and we have really pretty posters. And so what we're going to do is we're going to post it on Facebook and cross our fingers. That private messaging or direct messaging me back, you know, we all do it because we don't want to be the one that didn't do it. But the reality is small that you're going to get a response, right? So I have to say it's making your list and it's making the calls. And that's why I wanted to start with the why for you, so that you can set your platform, so that you know your foundation and why you're doing this. You realize that what's today, the 4th, we have 10 days. So there's no use waiting. You might as well start inviting. You make your list and you start making your invitation. And I will give you this, that the very first part of my invitation is always, what are you doing? And I would say on the 14th or on Thursday the 4th. Sorry, it's not Thursday, it's Saturday. Saturday the 14th. And they go, nothing. Why? Because already you've eliminated an objection. So that's really important. If you can eliminate any objections, the better. So if you can eliminate that, you know, if they say to you, oh, I'm in the middle of, I don't know, hockey tournaments and it's the final or it's the wind up or it's whatever, then, you know, take a breath and wish them well and invite them another time. But if they're open or if there's some hesitance and some availability, then you want to make the invitation. Bless you. Yeah, so that, and I know we talk a lot, or we've heard a lot about social media and about texting, and all of those are good. But I just want you to go, I don't know if you've ever seen that bullseye target, but in this conversation, the bullseye target is that actual conversation with someone, dialogue with someone. So it's going to be the phone call, or it's going to be when you bump into them at the grocery store or at church or whatever it might be, and you make the invitation enthusiastically, confidently, because you know what you have and you're offering them a gift. And this isn't anything unique to any other part of building your business, but it is exciting because this is an emotional experience for them. They're going to get to use the products, smell the products, sense the products on their skin, see the results from that one use, hear from an expert, see a room full of others that are doing the same. So it's bringing, you know, that camaraderie right together. So that's what's going to create that energy that by yourself may not have as easily. So it's making that. And then on the next ring might be that texting, but a text might be starting that conversation. Michael was saying earlier that he's connecting with some people that he hasn't, chatted with in a while, or communicated with, connected with in a while. So you want to build that a little bit before you just do an invitation, that hot point, that, and you have to start now if you want to have an invitation for the 14th. So it's being able to start there, and in some cases doing the direct invite, but in a lot of cases it might be making some other idle conversation just to see if they're free, if they're available right now, if they're even going to respond to you because you just want to say hi, right? So do that. And then as you get outside of that, you're starting to do that big wide sweep, which is the social media. Private messaging people is like texting, right? So you can do that, of course. And the point is that you're making the effort with your long list of people. If they're free, you make the invitation. You need to know your story. Remember that your story is important to your belief, but not necessarily the most important thing to them. Okay, so it's the thing that holds you up when you make the invitation, but going on and on about your story may not be the most important to them, but it will build your enthusiasm. And curiosity is an absolute important way to get people intrigued, right? If people think they know a little bit, then they think they know everything, then they don't need to come. They don't, they've heard it all. But you can say to them, I can't wait for you to see, or I can't wait for you to tell you more, right? And so there's leaving some curiosity and some enthusiasm with that.
I'm planning to follow up with all the people I invited for the last event in February. I'm inviting them all again, because sometimes it takes 2, 3, 4, 5 touches, invites before they at last say, oh, okay, well, I'll make the time now, or now is the time, right time for me. One woman from last year, I did a Sanse facial I've been in contact with her since, and now she said, she basically contacted me today saying she's running out of her products, and now she's interested in taking a look at Celavive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so a lot of people will, of course, want to use the products they have. Just being thoughtful of the money that they've spent, or they don't want to let go of the fact that what they've been using for years, they've loved and believed in, right? So we have to be gentle with that, and absolutely. So that follow-up, and so I was going to say is that once you've done the invitation, be sure to follow up, because you're saving them a seat. I'll talk a little bit if you don't know how it's being run exactly, but I'll talk about that in a second. But you're going to be saving them a seat. So you want to have a posture that you only have a few seats available. Like you only have a few chairs available sitting beside you, and you want to save them one of those. So you want that to be a confirmed appointment. So being postured is also very professional and appropriate, no matter whether you're a few days old in this business or you're many years old in this business. And it's not too late to invite the Friday night before either, okay? Because you never know. You never know. You call somebody and say, what are you doing tomorrow? Nothing. Why? You might have somebody else to take with you or meet at the event. So you have basically 10 days, 9 days left to invite. And it's never too late, and it's never too soon. And if anything, I'd say we were right on track right now with the 9 days. So just so that you understand how it's being run, Lori presented us with her beautiful, I don't even know what it's called. It does have a proper name. Do you remember what it's called, Lori, when you ordered it? Your little suitcase of mirrors and things? Anyway, we'll call it a presentation kit. I think they gave it a cool name. But anyway, presentation kit. So she's got her 5.
Still have those. I called the corporate office, and they said they didn't have them anymore because I wanted to order one.
Okay, well, just check online when we get off the call tonight. And where I found it was on specials, like where you would go and order things, but you see nutritionals and foods, and then at the bottom, it'll say specials. That's where I found it.
Oh, okay.
Susanne, it's called Celavive Experience Pack.
Okay, there you go. So, okay, and what number does it have? Does it have an ID or a stock number? 9.
Let me just see here for a minute.
Because I called the corporate office and they said they didn't have any more.
Yeah, you might have got an American answer. It's possible. It's also possible that they're gone. It is possible.
And you know, this doesn't really have it on here. This is from the big event, the road show. So it could
okay.
be.
Okay. Anyway, but that's where you'll find it. So Celavive Experience Pack, and it was in specials, and it was $99. So take a look tonight, because that would give you a clue that they're selling out. So if it is gone, it's gone. So if that's the case, if you have it, bring it. Use your mirrors. We're going to have the cotton pads, the headbands, we're going to have little spatulas, I hope, so that we can put the eye cream and things on something so people aren't touching it with their hands. So we're going to have the bowls for washing, the face cloths. So we're going to have all of that. You don't have to use your things, but your mirrors will look really cool on the table. We will have mirrors for those that don't have mirrors. We're having all of that available. But we want you to be responsible for your group. So if you have one person, 2 people, 4 people, you're bringing your Celavive product with you. If you don't have both types, you might want to consider buying those extra items, buying the cleanser, the day cream, and the night cream that are gels that are for the other type, because your guest might have oily combination or they might have dry sensitive. So whichever one you have is great. And you know that as you use your product for sampling, you can use it as a tax write-off as well. So keep that in mind. So this is actually to your advantage as you build your business. Keep your receipts for your tax benefits. Right, so we are creating, if you will, an environment of being very much an independent distributor or independent associate doing Celavive. We have the speaker for you. We have the location for you. We have some of the tools. We want you to have your order forms, so download them off Communication Edge. We want you to have any kinds of brochures or things that you think you want to have. To Pam's point, I wanted to mention the contest that's going on. Like for everybody to be excited about Celavive right now is really good timing, because both the global and the Canadian side have decided to have contests. So the Canadian side is very focused on whole health. So anything that is Celavive, is Cellsentials, Proflavanol, or Biomega, yes, those are all being calculated and tracked for you to win or earn in this contest. So you want to go online and just follow, if you've been getting your emails, I'm sure you have, just follow the line. All right, so who saw the gorilla walk behind me? Anyway, there you go.
There he is.
I just asked them how many saw the gorilla walk by. There you go. Anyway, but all the rules are there and the prizes are there. But the Canadian one is all calculating your sales dollar value. So only of those products, Celavive, any Celavive product, pack, Cellsentials, Proflavanol, and Biomega. So anything else you sell, that's terrific. You're building your business, it's terrific. But in the contest, that's what they're tracking. So to Pam, that's perfect, Pam, because while you're busy building their inner health, who knows, they might buy a day cream or something. And for the rest of us, while we're helping them get the glow on, they can be building health from the inside out. Okay. And it's actually genius, because the reality is that our business is very widespread. So this is a great opportunity for you to have auto order kind of products with your new people at the same time as they're seeing something very quick in the results on their skin. And then the global one is specific to Celavive. It's being tracked differently. And the prize is Sanavive. Now, I might have them wrong. One of them has the prize to Celavive. One of them has prizes for convention and so on. So anyway, but now's the time. And of course, the other part is that you're earning your 25%, $75 on a full kit. So lots and lots of value for doing Celavive right now. And we're excited to have the 14th come. Some people said it was too soon, but I think it's perfect timing, especially like Sheila said, to follow up with all the people that didn't come, the people that came and didn't order, who knows why. There's lots of good reasons for them to be there. And the only other thing that really stands out for me is I noticed one of the American associates that I've known for a long time. She did a little video, a live video on Facebook, and she was talking specifically about sunscreen. So she picked one product and she did a little thing on it about whatever her lifestyle was in the moment, and she needed her sunscreen and it was 30 and so on and so on. It was very nice. But she said in her verbiage that if they wanted a 3-day sample, to private message her. So I messaged her and said, do you have samples? You know, what are you doing for your 3-day trial? And I found out that she was doing a basket. So I kind of smiled and said, well, it sounds familiar. We've done this before. So I just want to throw that out to you, that while we're waiting for USANA to have samples for us, I highly recommend that we build that basket and use that concept. Because if we could lend out a basket with the product for 3 days, you could repackage, but I think there'll be a lot of waste that happens by doing that. So I mean, yes, there's a chance that people will overuse it in their households for that 3 days, but I think that it will be a better presentation, and it would be well worth it to create a basket where they could borrow it. And it doesn't have to be 3 days either. It could be 1 or 2 days. But just wanted to throw that out because we don't have samples right now. So it's another good way to do follow-ups with people, as well as to do your own if it's not around the 14th. So anyway, so that is my quick, what to do next when it comes to the 14th. I hope that's helpful. Any questions? I'm happy to try and answer.
I'm going to open it up. Everyone's unmuted, so feel free to ask questions.
Suzanne, I
Yes.
really like the reintroduction and reminder of the basket. We haven't had like, well, we did. We had a full launch. That's right, with Carly Dow here in Calgary with with Celavive, which I love the correlation in those words. So I like the basket idea. So that's a really good one, because I don't believe that we'll be having kind of a citywide one. And so it becomes like, okay, so how do I do this?
Mm-hmm.
And do I, influence people in, appreciating. And like you said, I like how you're saying, be patient with people because they're used to their own product, or they want to consume the product that they have. And I can relate to that myself because they put money out for it. And so I believe that builds the trust and staying connected. So this is a question, okay? This is a thought. Are you staying connected with them both through personal contact, through phone calls, texting, and then, texting is social media. Well, not really, but so how would you recommend in staying connected with people? Because I do have a before, but I don't have an after, and I haven't been as consistent with the product as I'd like to be. And I find a little bit of a resistance around that proof of picture, because it's almost like, do some people think, oh, well, it's just been, manipulated, I guess, really is what I'm thinking. So it's kind of negative. But
right. And so when it comes to the before and afters, I mean, that was the first thing that John's pictures were placed in front of someone, and their response was, he doctored that. Okay, he doctored it. He didn't, but if that's what you think, that's what you think. There's nothing you can do with that. So for you, if you haven't been consistent, then that's on you to get started and be consistent. Do a new before. You've got your old before, do another one, and then carry on and be consistent. How to keep in contact? I mean, it's like anything, like it's dialogue. I think the biggest thing that people who are learning to do this business struggle with in a lot of ways is that they think it's different than life. It's not. It's just like anything in life. It's you're building a friendship, a relationship, a community. And how would you be in touch? How would you invite somebody to your sister's surprise birthday party? You'd want the house to be full of her friends, right? So you'd make a point of inviting, not by hoping they'd show up because you posted it in a general poster, but by doing something very on purpose and following up to make sure that house would be full of people for her. That's the same thing as you want to do when you're doing this. And to follow up and just say, touching base, I'm saving your seat, you're still good, yep. You know, if they're not, better to know that they're not and re-invite someone else than to sit there with an empty chair. So this is just building relationships and not getting all stuck in your head about it being, if they say no, that's not no to you, even though it feels it. And I will never pretend that it doesn't feel like it's a no to me, but it really isn't. It's just no for their own reasons. The other thing is that I thought of as we were talking here is really meeting people where they're at. So if they really just want an eye cream, in my mind, they need the whole thing, and I don't want to just sell them an eye cream, but I learned the hard way. I said, oh no, you need the whole set, and I got 0 sale. So I've learned that if I had her using the eye cream, I'd have had a lot better follow-up if I had gotten her started with something. So meet people where they're at, and you know, even if you were brand new, okay? I'm sorry, what's your name that just did your first Celavive facial today?
I'm Jewel Queensberry. You don't remember me from in the beginning of USANA?
Well, your face is familiar, but you're going to have to, you remind me of a story somewhere down the way, and I'll go, oh my goodness.
Yeah, there's a story.
Is there?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so, right, so... No, so you have just started. So if someone said, well, how's it working for you? And you'd say, well, you know what? I did my first facial yesterday and I love the way it felt. So I'm doing it again today and I'm going to do it again tomorrow. And I guess we'll see. Why don't you use my basket, or why don't you come on Saturday and see how it works for your skin? It doesn't have to be 3 months down the road or a month down the road. So that's my point, is that it doesn't matter if you just got your order and you just smelled it for the first time. You've got something to tell. You've got, I love the way it smells and I can't wait to get it on my skin that night or that day. So no matter where you're at in using this product, everybody's got a good story if you're excited about it. Just don't feel that you're behind anybody or something else has to be right to do it. It's just,
let me ask
you've got, sure.
If I'm doing a party, I have a little tea house that my friend owns, and I want to invite all the ladies that I know. What about a personal hand invitation? You know, written.
Actually, I did write that down. Yes, I did write that down.
That
would be
to them like it's a birthday party, like it's the most important party of your life.
Yes, absolutely.
Because they're your friends.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
what it can be mailed, it can be delivered, it can be absolutely. But that handwritten, that extra care, absolutely. I did have that written down actually, so I'm glad that you brought it out, because what I'm finding is everything old is new. And you know, these are things that we did before, but it's like the biggest deal ever. People are talking about in social media about things that we've been doing forever, but they think like it's new. And I guess it's new to that generation, but yes, use it as a tool for sure. And it doesn't have to be a printed off Celavive invitation if you don't want it to be. It could be something totally different, something personal and unique.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So Susanne, just as a thought, as I think kind of with this other business program I'm doing, is because it's all entrepreneur based and it's a wide spectrum of industries. What was the term the other day? It was like a month ago or so, and they said, create the bump. Create the bump. So people are kind of like, like living their lives, they're busy. So what creates the bump that catches them to think, oh, no, that's interesting. So not necessarily, oh, one more thing to think about or decide, but it's like, ooh, that's kind of interesting. And so, you know, thinking about my daughter, so Marina will be 23, or well, she is 23, and so very social media. So if I want to, not really capture that interest of that generation, and they are social media based, how can I I guess, leverage her? That's my question. She's a hairstylist. A way that I guess that maybe that's part of where my thoughts are going.
Well, first of all, she has to want to be leveraged for starters. But if she was if she was using the products and she was taking pictures, and she'll know how to do them. And then she does some, some collage of pictures, and people see the difference, or she highlights the difference. I mean, that's how she does it. And or it's her messaging, it's her wording. It's not anything that Suzanne's going to come up with as far as language, or you're probably going to come up with. It's going to be her language, because they don't even speak our language. Right?
No,
they don't even speak, right?
I love that we have that difference between us. Okay, no, that does make sense. So when I think about even the schools that I work at, we have quite a, in my age, in our 50s, as well as those in their 20s, kind of late 20s as teachers. And, just that, well, I guess it's all about connection, really.
Sure. And start, if you're thinking about the two of you, start taking some pictures together. You don't know what you're going to do with them yet, but take some pictures together. Do a before and after together. Do it before together. Just don't use it for anything right now. You have nothing to use it for, but down the road, who knows, you might be able to create something with it. So you're starting to create, a collection of things. So instead of thinking too far out or worry that you don't have enough, just, if my earpods go, I hope my computer picks up, because I can hear it making sounds here. But yeah, just, again, stay in the moment. And I guess I'm going to put that back to all of you as we're bringing the call probably to a close. But stay in the moment of where you are. So for those of you that are here and you can do the 14th and make it important, stay in the moment of what you're trying to create between now and the 14th. Be the one that has the most guests. Be the one that needs a whole table. Be the one that needs a table and a half, and we have to figure out how to deal with it. Be that person. Right? And, Phyllis, you're not nearby, so you've got to figure it out a different way, but be in your moment. How are you going to make your first invitation? How are you going to get the first basket in someone's hands? How are you going to get someone over to your place to use the product? Stay in the moment. Stay right focused. If we go way out here, we accomplish nothing but confusion. So just bring it right back to where you are.
I love it. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah, I had one question, Suzanne. How many, on the 14th, April 14th, how many people will be seated around each table?
Well, right now, we're thinking 6. 6 that can do facials. So I would bring my 3 guests. Let's just use as an example. I wouldn't sit in the table, so to speak. I would be there, but I wouldn't be in the table. So there'd be room for 6 guests at the table. And the associate would stay more to the outside of it. Their products would be there. They are going to be the one that manipulate the products and get it onto their guests' hands, or onto their, so that they can get it on their faces. And and then there'll only be a small crowd getting the face cloth. That's one thing about Celavive. We only do the one cleanse. So we just need one face cloth, and that's the other thing somebody was talking about. Lori, you were saying just about busy life. The nice thing about this is it's fast. Like, it really isn't a long, drawn out process. It's really a quick way to use skincare and get results, which is also a really good message as you do your invitation.
Good. Great, thank you. And I love the spa basket idea. I think I was probably the queen of the spa basket up until we switched. I just took my sensei out of there. So I love the basket idea, because it's great for busy people, and it's a great follow-up tool, because if you give them the basket, you're for sure setting up the time when you're going back. And that puts them into using it. Versus, I just handed out some Celavive samples back in January. I followed up with the gal. She still hasn't used them. But if she would have had the basket, she would have been forced to use it within 2 days. So the basket's great. Just be careful who you lend it to, that they're trustworthy, right? So I love that idea. I love some of the suggestions about being in the moment. Just start with having your, Phyllis, having your daughter actually use the products and get her opinion on it. If she loves it, you know, like
Yeah.
so Hope came to the launch, and she was so inspired by Carly that they have great ideas at that age. So, I mean, just to have them use the products and fall in love with it. Really, that's step one. So lots of great advice. I'm very excited that
Sheila, may I, please? It just as an idea person, it occurred to me, I had kind of this visual right now in that giving people a basket is more than just giving them a basket, but connected to where they're at in their life. And as you know, my father-in-law just died 2 weeks ago. And so even the simplicity from the staff, now it can be through the Calgary Board of Education, that idea of saying they gave me us a fruit basket. And I thought, you know what, maybe someone has a new baby, or maybe they're going through a difficult time, or they're having a bit of depression, or they're having an exciting time in their life. So it can be that whole range, and say, you know what, you're really on fire, and I would like to offer you this basket to sample. Or you're having kind of a challenging time. Perhaps this is a nice time to soothe and that is a neat idea that just occurred to me that would be an area that I could. Pause.
No, I think that's great. All sorts of wonderful ideas. And that's the reason we have these calls, is to stimulate ideas so that we get excited and we take action. So thank you, Susanne. I think with that, we are going to wrap up. So thank you, everyone. This has been a tremendous.
Thank you, Susanne.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Nice seeing you again.
So have a wonderful week, everyone. And
welcome.
thank you again, Susanne, for taking the time.